Hello, everyone. Amar and Riaz here. Uh, we really wanted to take some rest over the weekend, but unfortunately or fortunately, the new model of OpenAI has released. It was being predicted a few days ago that it would be released in the next few weeks. However, I think the biggest trigger was the release of the DeepSeek's R1 model that just created a huge, a big situation in the market, the stock market, as well as in the AI world and the Silicon Valley. And we have discussed that in our last video as well. So we just wanted to um, get some time and sit together and discuss about the new model, which is which they have named O3, and currently they have released the O3 Mini model in three different versions as well, which is a little bit of confusing as well. But in this video, we'll try to show some of the functionality of O3 and also how it is incorporated into the ChatGPT plus version that we have. Um, and what are the different benchmarks when they compare the O1 model with O3 model? Uh, Basically, both of these models are the reasoning models. Without going into too many details in the beginning, let's go directly into ChatGPT and see how the models look like. So, Riaz, I'm just going to share my screen. Just let me know if there are any errors or it's not very well visible. Just let me know. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
So, so just wanted to show the audience. This is the article that has just been released. It's on 31st of January, which is today. And as we said, that it was our weekend, and we really wanted to take some time out, but unfortunately or fortunately, it was released. Um, it's just a description, and they have compared it with O1 model, um, and in some really useful benchmarks. Some of these benchmarks are new for the AI system, some are a little bit older. However, without going into the details, first we would like to mention about the DeepSeek AI. Uh, DeepSeek, that company from China, it just come out from nowhere, and they released their R1 model, which was trained using the reinforcement strategy instead of the previous strategies being used by OpenAI and other AI companies. So this reinforcement strategy, just to give you a quick idea as to what it is basically if the model is performing or be able to correctly answer to a question. And one of the good examples was given by one of a YouTuber um, who normally makes the videos on AI is basically 2 plus 2 equal to 4. So we already know that 2 plus 2 is 4. So in this case, we know the answer for sure what it is. And so once you know the answer and you input that value and ask the reasoning model to do some calculations and try to achieve that objectives. In this case, the objective is the number 4. So do the calculations. If you come up to the as a result, you come up to the result to be 4, which is the objective function is in this case, you're basically the model is basically rewarded. But in case it makes an error, and let's say it comes up to answer to um, 3 or maybe 5 or 1 or whatever the answer it comes up to, it's basically punished. So that's the reinforcement learning. And we will explain this concept in some one of our subsequent videos. Riaz, do you agree, Riaz, on this thing with me?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
I think it's a very good concept, and we should mention or we should provide some details to our audience in one of our videos. So anyhow, the R1 model by DeepSeek was trained using the reinforcement strategy. And looks like this OpenAI's O3 Mini has also been trained by the through that reinforcement strategy, so which is really powerful and it works on its own um, autonomously. So we will explain it later on. So anyhow, first let's go into this ChatGPT's main page, which is chatgpt.com. And previously, I could see some of the other models of ChatGPT like 4.0 and O1 as well as 4.0 Mini and Legacy GPT-4 model. So now I can see two more. Uh, it should have given me three more O3 Mini models, as they say, because in their article they've mentioned that they have released three O3 models, which are O3 Mini uh, high, medium, and low. So basically, the O3 Mini low version, and I'm not sure if this is the low version or the medium version. So, but I'm just assuming that this is a medium version. But let's say comparing low, medium, and high, it's basically the computational intensiveness. So the low model uh, takes lesser amount of time, so lesser amount of thinking basically to come up to a result. So you can imagine the results or the accuracy of a low model will be lesser compared to the high model because the O3 mini high model takes more time in thinking and reasoning and come up to the solution or achieve the objective function. So let's compare the benchmarks and then we'll come back to this page again. We can select any of these models to do our computation or do or try to get the answers out of this GPT model. Um, for the most part, the O3 model from OpenAI is more focused towards the uh, STEM professionals and STEM um, I would say problems. So Riaz, what does STEM uh, what does the acronym STEM mean?
Yeah, STEM basically stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So these fields. So yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. So here as well, they're saying that it has exceptional STEM capabilities, and in particular, the strengths in math, science, and coding. So for the most part, you need the coding, math, and science to solve your world problems. And a lot of problems that are the most exceptional people in this field and the researchers are trying to decode is using maths and coding and science problems and this model is really good with that and as we have already seen that the DeepSeek AI DeepSeek R1 reasoning model of DeepSeek as well is really good at solving the STEM problems. Uh, However, there's some discussion between the other than STEM problems or the other answers between comparing OpenAI models with the DeepSeek model, but R1 is pretty good at solving the STEM problems. Let's go quickly to the benchmarks. We can go over all of these details, but the most important detail, I think, in my opinion, is that the O3 mini model is available for the free for the free version as well of ChatGPT. So the plus version that we we have to pay US dollars 20 US dollars per month for this subscription. And there is another subscription which is the a pro subscription for which you pay $200 per month. Um, and Riaz, I'll discuss this with you after this as well, because the point is the O3 version is also available for the free users, like the free account as as well as it is available for the plus users. And for the pro, of course, you have this, but you have some additional capabilities as well. such as the operator AI as well as Sora. But let's say for the normal users, day-to-day users, or maybe someone in our fields, not pure software engineering or software development, what do you think we should go with if we want to go with, let's say, OpenAI?
I think like in our field, if we are using the model, I think the free version is enough for like most of the tasks. And I think the pro, if you have more complex tasks, only then you need the pro version, which is like $200 per month. But I think for most of the tasks, like 70-80%, maybe 90, you don't need the pro version. I think the free version is enough for most of the people. So that is actually well equipped to satisfy most of your tasks and needs in industry.
I think, thank you. And I think another thing to consider is how much you use that model. If your usage is more than uh, the amount of queries they allow in a free version, then maybe you can go to the plus version. I mean, in my opinion, plus should be enough, unless you are a very hardcore AI researcher or something. In that case, you might go to the pro version. However, we also have seen that the DeepSeek R1 is also really good with coding tasks as well. So, and it's open source as well, unlike the OpenAI models. So I think that's another thing that the professionals can consider as well. But like we said, that non-STEM questions, there are some controversies, and we'll discuss about it later on as well. But let's first go into the benchmarks for O3, and this OpenAI's page basically compares the benchmarks for the O3 and O1, the older O1 model. Both are reasoning models, but they have some differences. So here is the first one, which is the math competition benchmark. And looking at the accuracy, you ask, is it uh, clearly visible right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is comparing the O1 preview, O1 and O1 mini with the O3 mini lower version, O3 mini medium, and the O3 medium high. And as you can intuitively tell that O3 Mini High with the more amount of computation and reasoning and thinking as well has achieved the highest accuracy in the math competition compared to the O1. So this is an improvement from 83.3% to 87.3%. It is pretty high. I mean, the O3 Mini and O3 Mini Low and Medium are still less in terms of accuracy in the math scores compared to O1, but O3 Mini High is actually ahead of the game. So it is a really improved model for sure. So the next one is the PhD level science questions. So Riaz, would you like to explain a little bit on this chart for the
Yeah,
PhD level
basically.
science questions? Yeah.
Yeah, for the PhD level science questions, which actually need more reasoning capability, more critical thinking, here you can see that O3 mini high version is again more than O1. The difference is actually not huge, but it's still significant. You can see the O1 is 78 as compared to O3 high has been able to achieve 79.7, which is close to 80. So here again, it's a significant jump from O1 and far greater jump from O3 mini low and O3 mini medium. So O3 mini version, the high flavor is actually again significantly up from O1, which was 78.
And then, I mean, I just want to remind the viewers as well that when you go to higher accuracies, higher numbers, uh, in this case, the difference is only 1.7% compared between the O1 and the O3 mini high version. It's only 1.7%. But at these high percentages or high levels of accuracy, 1.7% is a huge number. It's not just 1.7%. It is very huge because it's really hard to achieve higher accuracy at higher accuracy levels. So let's move on to the next one. In the frontier math, I would not just look at each one of the numbers, but in general, this is where they mention what's the difference. So they're saying OpenAI O3 Mini with high reasoning performs better than its predecessor, which is O1 on frontier math. On frontier math, when prompted to use a Python tool, O3 Mini with high reasoning effort solves over 32% of the problems on the first attempt. So it is definitely a big jump and pretty significant as well. So and here's the competition code from the code forces. So it has so basically there it competed um, for the coding challenges at code forces. And here again you can see compared to O1, the ELO, and without going into a lot of details into it, but this is the score, ELO score. Um, Compared to O1, which scored 1891, O3 Mini High Reasoning Model is scoring 2130. And this is definitely a very significant jump. Even the O3 Mini Medium is exceeding as well compared to O1. And here's the SWE software engineering benchmark. And I think this is very important, especially for our software engineering fellows who are in development, because I think that these models will really help them improve their efficiency and productivity. So compared to O1, from 48.9, there's a jump to 49.3 for the high version. So, I mean, Riaz, in O3 Mini, this new generation as well, we can see that the high model, although I mean it's computationally in more intensive and time consuming as well, but it is performing the best. Of course, it's taking more time to think and go through the tasks, so it is taking a little bit longer, but in terms of accuracy, it's way better. Similar to this is some other benchmarks, and uh, here, I mean, this one is pretty interesting. If you see, Riaz, that
Yeah.
compared to O1 Mini, uh, the O3, this is the human preference evaluation. So for the STEM task, O3 has a, a way better win rate compared to O1. But for the non-STEM tasks or questions or queries, it is closer to the O1 Mini. And I think this was expected because we already said that it is way more suited for the STEM tasks compared to the non-STEM or tasks. Okay, and I think this is the most important part, model speed and performance. Because more important, it is really important that it is able to compute faster than its predecessor or the previous or older versions. And Riaz, do you see the difference? Or would you like to mention what is the difference you see in this chart in terms of
Yeah,
speed?
basically. Yeah, basically O3 Mini is basically able to achieve much less response time for tasks than O1 Mini. Here in this graph, you can see it's around like it's basically taking 7.7. The average response time is 7.7 seconds or 7700 milliseconds as compared to O1, which was taking around 10 more than 10,000, around 10.16 seconds. So yeah, it's almost you
It's
can
like
say very
25%,
significant.
huh?
Yeah, it's
Almost
yeah, almost
25%.
seven,
Yeah.
75% improvement in response time. It's much
Yeah.
quick, much faster.
Yeah, and this is pretty significant as well as important as well for if you're if some of the more intensive and research-oriented people are working with these models, they would definitely like to have a faster model as well. So this is really standing out O3 model. So now I have I was watching another YouTube channel and a video as well, where the one of the guys has actually done a really good comparison. So we would like to acknowledge his comparison and would like to show that as well to the viewers. Ras, can you see the screen well?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so this guy, the channel's name is the AI Advantage, and he's pretty knowledgeable as well. And he has done this with his hands and had just done some hand calculations and created a channel, or sorry, a table, where he has compared O1, O1 Pro, O3 Mini, low, medium, and high with the DeepSeek R1 model in terms of math, science, code, SWE, which is for the GitHub problem solutions, and speed as well in terms of second. So if you see the high model of O3 Mini, which has just been released today, is beating even DeepSeek R1 as well, even in the STEM tasks like maths 87 compared to 80, science 80 compared to versus 72, coding is 97 versus 96. This is pretty close. So DeepSeek R1, which is a free model and which is an open source model, here it is standing out. I mean, it's not very far away. So imagine, I mean, even for O3 Mini Medium, the rating is 96. DeepSeek R1, the free version, is actually beating the O3 Mini Low and is equal to the O3 Mini Medium in terms of
Yeah.
coding. So I think it really stands out over there. And SWE is 49 versus 49. So it is standing out there as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, but in terms of speed, if you look at the speed in terms of seconds, 60 versus 95, this is the main difference, I think.
Yeah.
So if the professionals are really looking to implement or looking to use a model, they can make a comparison, but I think the speed will be such a such a huge factor. But anyhow, overall, O3 Mini High is the best model as of today, and it has beaten DeepSeek's R1 as well. So as of today, OpenAI has um, gotten back its crown from DeepSeek R1, so which is a huge achievement. And um, there was another video, but I would not go into um, a lot of details because we are already exceeding our time limits. I think we wanted to shorten the video, but it has gotten a little bit too long. But here you can basically, let's say just to give you an idea how quick this is and how quickly it can code. Let's say go to O3 Mini High and let me ask it to write a code. Let's say Riaz, write a Python code for the snakes game. Let's see how quickly it can write. So it's reasoning right now and it's saying preparing the code. It is telling you all the instructions as well, details. What did it do? Preparing the code, crafting the code, setting up the game, handling user input, refining the code, offering the solution, finalizing. So it is letting you know what exactly it is doing, all the reasoning. And then look at this. It has already generated the code.
Yeah.
And today, it seems like it's a good code, but of course we haven't tested it. There's another user, and this is the channel, Matthew Berman. He has explained it really well. He has shown how fast this O3 Mini medium version is compared to the O3 uh, high version. What do you call that? High version is. So in any case, I mean, this code did work in his IDE. We are not going to test it. We don't have enough time for this thing, but we can test it in some other video. So we'll show you what's the difference in the speed. But it has been mentioned here, and it does. You can validate it by doing this. We just ran it, and I don't know how much time it took. Maybe it tells us as well. Did it say or no? I think it does say, or it says that in 15 seconds because we used the high version and the medium version would have been quicker than this. Or maybe I can show it as well, but that's for another day. So Riaz, just quickly because we are almost at the end of our presentation now. Uh, is there any concern with using DeepSeek? I mean, there are some things that are being discussed. One of them is the data privacy. Do you think that this
Yeah.
can be a concern or not, or is it just unfounded?
Yeah, this can be a concern. The data privacy is an important issue when you are using the model for such so much complex things and a range of data sets. So yeah, it is concerning. The data privacy is a very major thing while using certain models and groups. So yeah, it's a very valid concern.
Yeah, and also we have heard about some of the political side of the things as well, and we as professionals would not like to go into those kind of details, but there are some valid concerns because DeepSeek, for example, is from a country where it has to follow certain rules of the country. And personally, I think that we should have some openness in the AI world so that research can take place and everything should be fact based instead of emotions based. It should be data driven. That is one other thing. However, if you compare, and we have already compared, and we showed that DeepSeek is pretty good with the STEM questions. So it is a pretty good model. But to be honest, the game is now on. And now with the release of O3 mini model, which is available for free as well, I think things will heat up even more from the next week or week on. And I think we were already expecting O3 to be released soon, but I think the main trigger for its release, and that too as a in the free version as well, is mostly because of the DeepSeek. And in the meantime, by the way, Riaz, before we leave, I've also noticed that Nvidia's stock has started to go up as we predicted. However, it went down a little bit again this morning, and I think maybe the reason is due to the release of the O3 model and the heat up of the game and the less computation needed by these models due to the reinforcement learning and the new strategies. Anyhow, the game is on, Riaz, and as usual, we'll keep reporting about it. And thank you so very much to everyone for bearing with us. Uh, just thought to give you a quick summary of what has been released and what changes have been made. And I hope both of us are trying our best to provide you as AI literacy in as simple words as possible. So please subscribe our channel and like our video as well. And please let us know what else you would like to learn, and we will try our best to create such videos in simple language so everyone can understand and implement in their day-to-day life as well. We will be demonstrating um, how we can use these models going forward as well so that everyone, whether they are STEM professionals or not, can implement that in their lives for better productivity and efficiency. So thank you so very much. So Riaz, so you're good with it, or you have any more comments?
Yeah, I would like to have just one comment is that the battle has just started, the competition has intensified, and competition is in the market is good for the consumer actually. It brings the prices down and improves the quality. So I think yeah, the battle is ongoing, and yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Riaz, and thank you everyone. And talk to you guys too soon. And we'll create another video, hopefully, with some of the concepts that we discussed today, including these models and how these models work and what are the new strategies being used. Thank you so much. Have a good night.